This is Sanji, fight by fight. Like towards the end of the day, there was like 10 minutes left. We got 10 minutes to shoot this backflip, and I was like, you know I'm not very good at that backflip, right? They put me in the harness before we even know it. Someone's counting down 3, 2, 1, action, and I'm backflipping through the air. I'm gonna go through the Arlong Park Fight. I was finding my groove at this point. At this point, this was like at the end of the shoot. This was one of the last things that we shot. I was still very stiff. My body was very broken, but I was like, all right, you're not gonna forget how to hook kick at this point. You kind of know what you're doing, how to really dramatic warm up. And I'm killing it. Nice. All right, so that flying sidekick, let me rewind that shit because it's dope. Bang! In the face. So that was a wire assist. I have all the BTS footage, and all of that was done with practical. So if you see the fish man flying out of the water, then boom, getting hit with the kick and flying away while I land, all of that was intricate wire system. So there's one wire on the fishman that was pulling him out, there was another wire on the fishman that was pulling him away, and there was a wire on me pulling me across the pool. What I had to do was learn how to fucking sidekick, which is not as simple. Even if you're on a wire, it doesn't kind of, you still have to know how to sidekick. And if anything, it's harder to sidekick because you're fighting gravity. We had practiced it a bunch of times. I'd only just learned how to sidekick by trying it a bajillion times. But it kept, on the day, we were running out of time and I was so afraid they were gonna cut the kick because every time I flew up, the way the harness was picked on me meant that my leg would just go bloop and I'd end up kind of vertical and the kick wouldn't work. Or if I would get it right, the timing of the other fishman would have been off and then it kind of like, I'd kick, but then the fishman wasn't there yet and then we'd land and it would be unusable. But I think on the last take, we got one take where everything worked and that's the one that they used.
I have that one.
Bang! Take it.
You look tired. Maybe you should take a break.
Damn, I got such a baby face there. This was also, that kick also was a wire assist. We did that in like 5 minutes. That was towards the end of the day, yet again. I don't know why my stuff always ends up being at the end of the day. That was like towards the end of the day, there was like 10 minutes left. And I remember France, the stunt coordinator, coming in and being like, we got 10 minutes to shoot this backflip. And I was like, you know I'm not very good at that backflip, right? It's like, yeah, I know, you got it, don't worry. Put me in the, go straight there, they put me in the harness. Before we even know it, someone's counting down 3, 2, 1, action, and I'm backflipping through the air. We actually got it in the second take, so I'm pretty proud of that.
You don't know what Luffy needs? I know he needs my cooking.
You won't be so lucky against the might of my...
I have a selfie with my man Kurobi. This is my selfie with Kurobi. Why did they put that in? It's so unnecessary. That was dope. That was all a wire gag. So the guy, Kurobi would run, or Kurobi's double would run, jump in the water, he'd be on a wire, the wire would drag him under the water and fly him back out. This was really fun. I love this bit because we actually did the slide. It's impressive how much of this, I thought so much of this would be CGI, but I don't remember there being any CGI, to be honest. Like it was all done with practicals and wires and literal humans flying around.
You're no match for me. My kicks can break a ship's keel.
That's nothing. You should have seen Zeph's kicks, man.
I don't think I have the footage for this, but basically, because I'm such a bad actor, I prefer to try and not act, and my way of not acting in this scene was because I had to be out of breath. I kept asking the crew members to punch me in the stomach before we go for a take. So there's a video somewhere that someone has of them counting down like, camera ready, sound speed, and then I go, all right, Jess, hit me, and Jess, the makeup artist, would just come and hit me in the stomach, and I'd be like, again. Okay, roll it, ah! And I'd do the scene.
You should have seen Zeph's kicks when he found the eggshell in the creme brulee.
I'm really out of breath there.
For me.
Now you're done.
Look at that pretty face. I must say, he's a good looking man. Practical. That fucking kick took an age and a half.
Mouton shot.
I'm not gonna lie, having to say all the names of French before doing them made me crack up every time. I'd be like, Mudosh! And I just break down laughing. One thing that I forgot about this, that I just remembered because I found it, was after that last kick where Kurobi flies into the back wall, that was on a wire. And when they connect the wires to us, they connect the wire to a harness. And the harness is connected to the wire by something called a pick point. That pick point has a shackle. Now, I went back to my tent after that last kick, after that last stunt, to take the shackle off of my harness. And I remember I took it off and I held it and I looked at it. And I realized that that was the last moment that potentially ever I was gonna wear one of these shackles, because I was done. I finished the show. I finished all the stunts, and I touched my body, and I kind of couldn't believe that I was somehow still in one piece, pun intended. And then I stood there for a minute, and I just started crying, started sobbing like a little boy. I was so emotional. I was so overwhelmed by the fact that I'd done it, that I'd finished it, that I'd gotten through the whole show and I hadn't died, or that I hadn't failed. I didn't know if I'd succeeded. I don't think I was confident enough to say I'd succeeded, but I definitely knew at the very least I hadn't failed. There's only one take in the whole show where I got doubled by Stewie, my amazing stunt double. He doubled me when I hit the table. When Sanji flies back in the restaurant and he hits the table with his back. Tried to get into that stunt as well, but there was just no way that insurance was going to let me. So I remember counting it and being like, all right, I've been doubled once in the whole show. They're not going to double me again. And that was the only time I got doubled in the show, and the rest of it I did. And I was just so proud of that fact. I was so proud that I got into the end and achieved that. And again, I didn't know how it was going to look, but I knew at the very least I had done my best. I'd left it all on the table, and for better or for worse, that was my best. And I was really proud of that. And then I continued to cry like a little boy for what must have been 20 minutes, half an hour. Someone came into my tent, I think Annie, my makeup artist. Annie came in and asked me why I was crying, and I was like, because I did it! Because I'm alive! Because they did it! Because I'm finished! Because I'm done! I don't know why I'm crying, okay? I'm not crying, you're crying. Ah! Yeah, that was a good day. I've still got that shackle. I made a piece of jewelry out of it.